There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home.
الصبح بدا من طلعاته والليل الدجى من ظفراته الله 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 هو الله 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 هو الله.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today as warriors in your kingdom, ready to fight against the spiritual battles that we face each day. We know that we are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness and evil in the heavenly realms. We ask for your strength, your guidance, and your wisdom as we face these battles. Help us to put on the full armor of God, so that we can stand firm against the enemy and his schemes. We pray for protection over our minds and hearts, that we may not be swayed by the lies and deceptions of the enemy. We pray for courage and boldness to speak your truth in a world that is filled with darkness. We ask that you would surround us with your angels, that they may guard us and protect us from all harm and danger. We declare that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and that every tongue that rises against us in judgment shall be condemned. We pray for our brothers and sisters in Christ who are facing persecution and oppression around the world. We ask that you would strengthen them, comfort them, and give them the grace to endure. We pray that their faith would be a shining light in the midst of darkness, and that their witness would bring many to salvation. Lord, we know that you are sovereign over all things, and that nothing is beyond your control. We ask that you would help us to trust in you, even when we cannot see the way forward. Give us the peace that passes all understanding, and the assurance that you are with us always.
गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः.
Pleasant good morning to each and every one of you that are tuned in. And I must say thank you for being here once again on another episode of The Wrap with myself and Cordell Jones. Before moving forward, I must say a pleasant good morning to those who are tuned in: Bobby the Sims, Verna de Silva, Gail Baca, Susan Prasad, and all those who are tuning. So, guys, thank you for being a part of this, or thank you for being on this segment of the program this morning. And I take this opportunity to bring in my co-host Cordell Jones. Good morning to you, Cordell, and how are you this morning, brother?
Morning, 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 Kevon. Morning to all the viewers, all the listeners, all the persons tuning in Guyana and in the diaspora. It's a wonderful morning here in Guyana. We had our local government elections yesterday, and I want to say hats off to all the persons who came out and exercised their franchise to exercise change or to effect change in their communities across the country. And persons came out and they made their choice. And, we were waiting the official results from GCOM. Um, we had a press conference from the general secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Civic, Dr. Jagdeo, last night at around midnight or so. And, he gave us some information. So we're going to dive into that in this program, expound upon it a little bit as we wait on GCOM to make the official announcements and not be reckless like some other political entities in Guyana. And in their normal fashion, try to mislead persons in relation to what's happening. And as persons would know, Kevin, mislead persons to the point where, to the extent like they did before, where they're making claims without anything to back them up.
Cordell, it is really I like the idea that you would have pointed out that reminding persons of what transpired in 2020. I believe in 2020, APNU had the most party before the results would have been read, or before we had the final declaration. They
Several.
had the most parties. And I mean, we would not come here to mislead anybody.
Yeah,
Know at the end of the day, GCOM has the final say, and GCOM will make that declaration. So, again, like you said, these persons continue to go there with their regular thing. That's the modus operandi of PNC APNU. So far, we have not seen they produce any statement of polls as yet. The SOPs, the regular SOPs, so
normal.
they're out there, spreading that narrative. And if persons are not, you see, if we do have persons that who are not too focused and so on, this can tend to frustrate people, and then it can make people react and so on. But thank God we have very humble and peaceful people. We wouldn't go
Yeah,
down that road,
yeah.
and they
So
have to do that. They have to do that to keep their people mind active and give them that confidence. Because you remember, Cordell, I remember when I look at what transpired last night on social media. I saw those in Linden here, when I saw them putting up things and so on. I remember that simple incident at the residence of the president on High Street, on Main Street, right when the woman lied down in front of the car and
on
said, "We
Carmichael
want to hear
Street.
something. We want to
Mm.
hear something." And Granger come out the car and he start telling people this is it and does it, and we will not We will not give in, and valid votes only. And that is the comfort he was trying to give his people, knowing very well that they would have lost the election since in March, right? So we, like you said, we want to give our people the assurance that we will wait until GCOM make that final declaration. And
What's
like you would have said,
important to
Cordell.
note, what's
Mhm.
important to note, as the vice president and general secretary of the party have noted in the press conference, this campaign that we're seeing on Facebook, by persons like Christopher Jones, um, it's because of the inroads the PPPC has made into their strongholds, and the
Exactly.
the, the kind of movement and activity they're seeing in terms of traditional areas that they would call their own, persons coming over to the People's Progressive Party Civic. So as I would have said earlier, this is PNC in their usual form. We saw this in 2020 when the strong guy out for 5 months, holding on to the fact that they won an election that they lost. Um, the fact is, and according to the vice president, and what I like with the vice president, I keep saying the vice president, that's his substance, his governmental position, so that comes to mind first. But in his capacity as the general secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, during his press conference last night, he said based on the preliminary results that they would have received, the PPPC would have won about 65 or more of the local authority areas across the country. You understand? And that was based on SOP tabulations. Now, you would know, Kevin, that all these parties, their agents are given SOPs at the end of the tabulation process, right? And this information is not different on each SOP. It's the same information each party gets. So they have a clear idea, at the PNC, APNU, have a clear idea of what took place at these elections. Now, another thing to note with the General Secretary, he noted that they were so excited that they won in certain areas that are their strongholds. And he contrasts that to the PPP saying they're happy about winning in a area like LBI. You understand? Where they know they'll get that support, and where traditionally they got that support. But in this election here, the numbers will show that the PPPC would have gain significant votes in areas that were not traditionally theirs. You understand? So I encourage persons to wait on the results from GCOM, the official results, and then we can for sure know what took place at these elections. But I guarantee you, the general secretary of the People's Progressive Party knows, and the uh, comrade leader, Mr. Norton, knows, because they all have the SOPs and they know what happened at these elections. So hopefully sometime today, GCOM will be able to have a press conference and make an official announcement on the proceedings of yesterday.
Exactly, exactly. And Cordell, that's one of the thing. That's one of the thing. I appreciated where the vice president would have would have shown his level of maturity, because even if he wanted to come out and say that we win or we won the most of it, he wouldn't come out to mislead people. He's still
Yeah,
trying to say the persons that we still have to wait, because he gave his numbers based on the preliminary report,
right, right.
right? So, unlike the APNU, they're going out to say, "Hey, we won the elections. Look at the count." You know, like in Linden here is like a skin teething whole day. Whole of a matter of fact, last night, yeah, you had people like Darren Adams and Mark Gorin and the others, and they're going around, For a matter of fact, they had big party already in Linden. Oh gosh, bro, I'm telling you. And things when they what they fail to realize when they do things like this, they frustrate their own people. And we want
Yeah.
to take the opportunity to remind some of those people it was the same thing they did. It was the same. And Cordell, I wouldn't I would also, I am guilty of the fact as well. It was the same thing that they did, and we were out in the sun and you're shouting valid votes only, but knowing very well to themselves that they would have lost that election, that they were making a fool of the people. You understand? But
Mm.
thank God our eyes have opened, and we are calling on those same persons who are out there as well. Remain calm, be vigilant, and wait on the final declaration. Because don't go out there exposing yourself and then you get hurt. You understand? Let us just wait. We are
Yeah.
not going to sit here to mislead anybody.
And
All we
the,
simply saying is wait,
and the
right?
thing is, the wait will have some jubilation there. You understand? We just want it to come from the Guyana Elections Commission. And again, you spoke of, um, you know, the opposition and them saying these things and getting their supporters excited or in a mood of jubilation, only to have them be disappointed shortly after. And I think this is a strategy the opposition often employs to get persons to behave in a manner that is, the best terminology I could use right now is uncivilized. You understand me? To go out and protest and broke up, not even to peacefully protest, but to block roads and to burn tires in the road and that kind of thing. And we don't need this. Again, you had Christopher Jones, on Christopher Jones and others. I think Annette Ferguson and another guy. I don't ever remember his name. But they were on there claiming victory and not even putting up the SOPs for people to see. So fine, you have access to these SOPs that you were able to say, hey, I could make a educated guess based on looking at this tabulation who won this area, right? And I'm gonna say, well, me as a PNC, God forbid, never. But hypothetically speaking, me as a PNC, I have this information, I have the statement to poll, I do it alive, I saying I win in this area. Why not put up the statement up a poll at this up on the side of me so persons could see what I'm talking about. And this could be the evidence of me winning in this area. But they know they can't do that in a lot of these areas because they would have suffered some serious losses. And even in areas where, let's say, the PPPC would have, let's say, lost, because we don't know yet. Let's say the PPPC would have lost in certain areas. The amount of votes garnered in this local government election compared to the last, it has to scare them in the PNC, APNU. Because
Exactly.
again, I come back to the inroads the PPP has made in their strongholds. So you have a lot of persons who are Afro-Guyanese who have embraced the PPPC because half the nonsense and the jumbly stories that they hear, they actually interacted with persons in the PPPC and they realize that they're not as factual, as persons would have, made them to believe. So the premature announcements um, are outright premature announcements by Christopher Jones and those in the APNU to say, well, officially they have won these areas and provided no evidence, I think is really bad. And it's a signal of the leadership over there, right? It's not the case where their leader, which I'm not sure if it's David Granger or Aubrey Norton, because I think Aubrey Norton is the leader of the PNC, but it's the APNU running the local government elections. But David Granger, I think, is the head of the APNU list. So you understand it confusing.
Confusing,
It
very
confusing.
confusing.
So you don't know like who really like calling the shots there when you think about it. PNC
Exactly.
campaigned in APNU clothing, but in PNC color. Um, and uh, anyway, I know how
You
to,
just say you just saying it alone confusing me right now. Much
yeah,
less to think about it.
I got out of my head with that. But
Exactly.
you know, you don't see the unity and the leadership coming out of the PNC. So take for instance when they sit down for their press conference on Thursday mornings, you got like 900 people at the head table, and each of them putting forward a different view on the same topic. You understand? So I mean, as if I was a supporter, again, God forbid, Jesus, no, hypothetically speaking, um how do you like look to say, well, I see leadership, I see um I don't know what to call it, I see vision, I see persons working together in this party to move it forward. You understand? It's hard. So I am waiting patiently for GCOM to make these announcements, and at the end of the day, we'll see what really transpired in these elections. And I feel personally, Kevin, for the PPPC and a lot of these candidates in some of these areas, it wasn't about winning. It was about making that first step into some of these communities to get them to actually to listen to you, to them, to us, and listen to what the PPPC has to offer, what they're putting on the table. Despite based on some preliminary reports that I would have received, I don't think the PPPC would have won in the Lane Avenue area there. I don't think so. But Minister Ramsey still went and he did the step. The road is still being done. And those persons will continue to still get assistance through those candidates that they may not have supported. So, it's good that at least some change was effected, that City Hall did not affect on their own in the years that they've been there, and in the years that they had the support of central government and the executive, 2015 to 2020.
Exactly. Well, one of the thing that you said there earlier, Cordell, it really makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because it was the same strategy that they used in 2020. Knowing very well that they would have lost the election, they would have known that they lost the election in 2020. They used that time of try as much as possible to see how they can. Two reasons I figured, and for a matter of fact, it was the reality, where
Mhm.
they tried to use that time within that 5 months period to force hijack and steal a whole country. And then secondly, also, it was the time they were using to frustrate the people, keep telling them that, look, we win this election. Y'all don't bother them. We got this. Y'all go there and protest. And I want to remind those persons, if you can recall at any time while you were out there, and I'm speaking to those persons who were protesting and out in the streets in the hot sun and rain, can you recall any time that you would have seen any one of those former ministers out there, right? Even
Mhm.
as much as David Granger himself, none of them were out there. People already dispatched to locations. People who belong to the interior locations, those people already packed and went home. I
Yeah.
can speak. I can speak for one, especially Sidney Alikak, who was former Minister of Armenian Affairs. Sydney were well aware. He was well aware that the last election of Sydney packed up and went home early. Right,
Mhm.
he went home early, and let me give a little story, Cordell, and for the viewers. I can recall it was in April. It was in April, the going down to May, early in May, right? I think I said this on this program before. I can't recall, but or I think it was a live where I was called down and by Sidney himself when I went into the office. The secretary were packing away everything, packing away, and so on, and
Mhm.
mind you, that is the end of April, right?
Yeah.
Uh, it was the end of April because I remember my son birthday is the last day in April. So it was in April, right? And they were packing away. So I went into the office and I was looking and I look around and I said, boss, what's going on here? Why they packing away? He said artists from the president. I said, artists from the president. I said, well, if we win the election, why you packing away? Because based on what they're saying, they were confident that they won the election. Therefore, you shouldn't be packing away. He said, no. He said that's the normal procedure. This is what the president say, that you will get the stuff out to the offices, um, and then when the declaration is made, then you go back. So I said, man, I prepared, I start challenging him. I said, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because if
Mm,
you win the election, you won the election. Therefore, you have no reason to be moving from the office, right? And then you can remember it wasn't a scandal, but it was facts where a vehicle was transporting items from the said ministry as well, the Ministry of Indian Affairs, and they denied it. I can
mm,
remember one of I think it was I'm not sure. I think it was Fakir himself jump out to deny it and said that is not so. And then Larry London made a statement to say it is not so, right? But it
mm.
was fact. These things were already being transported, and as much as even files is being removed
Yeah,
because they are well aware. So they used that was a tactic. They knew very well that they would have been out of office. But
yeah,
while they were doing that, they were misleading the people, had the people out in the streets trying to
yeah,
show the world that they won the election, and the PVP is trying to bully on all these things. So when they do that now, and the final results came out, that is where they were hoping now that the people would have retaliated to
yeah,
burn down and destroy and everything, right? And that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And it's the same tactic now. They're coming here, they're trying to use starting last night to frustrate the people. Because remember they already had plans, they had a lot of plans. They had plans to block the local government election process as well, right? And everything they did, they went to the court, they tried everything, and they did not get through. So the
yeah,
only thing now is to use this opportunity to boost up the people. Oh, we win the election. Yeah, we win it, but they can't produce the evidence. Right? And when now come today, tomorrow, GCOM should release the final declaration showing the PPPC triumph over the APNU PNC. That is where the people, they're hoping then that the people can become frustrated now and
right.
react by going out there and protesting these things. So that is why we want the viewers and Guyanese to understand. You learn from the past. Look at what happened in the past, learn from that. Be calm, relax, and let us wait on GCOM, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I strongly believe that the People's Progressive Party Civic, our General Secretary, and his team are mature enough to accept whatever decision comes out of GCOM, because
yeah.
GCOM's decision
So coming back to the
final.
general secretary and the press conference last night, one of the things he would have also shared with us is well, what we know before this election came on is that 13 of the LLAs, the local authority areas, the PPPC was the sole candidate. So off the bat, those 13 LLAs went to the PPPC. He would have also shared that based on the information he had, that all of the neighborhood democratic councils in regions 1, 2, and 3 went to the PPPC, and there are over 70 NDCs across it and the country in 10 municipalities. So, you know, again, the information differs from what you're getting from the PNC. And it's not to say a general secretary outright called these wins. He said, based on the information he had, and these are the SOPs that are in the possession of the party, that that the PNC have as well. You understand? He's still holding out, that he's waiting on GCOM to make that official result declaration about these local government elections, which I think is very important, and it shows leadership. So you don't have 5, 6, 7 persons spewing their own thing across the place. You get one definitive synopsis to the situation, and it is from a point of view of a leader of a party who is in receipt of some information that he's sharing probably with his party members and the general public, and not a misleading session like what took place on that live with Christopher Jones and Annette Ferguson and them last night. And again, Kevon, I remind you, this is because of the inroads made in Linden, in New Amsterdam, in Georgetown, you understand, and those places where they traditionally say they own, and they have done nothing to better the lives of those persons.
Exactly. So Courdel, like we rightfully would have said, this is their form of or this is their tactics, right, in trying to frustrate the people. And we want persons to understand that we ourselves, as we speak here, we decided, or we would have agreed that, or I can say we are mature enough to understand that there is a process. We have to understand that there is a body that is responsible for that. And neither myself or yourself or the PPPC or APNU has the authority to jump out to say who win and who win. And we want the other side to understand as well. Take a page out of our General Secretary's book, who would have come out last night to say that he's speaking based on a preliminary report. You understand? And therefore, we await the final results from the Guyana's Election Commission.
Yeah.
Right? We will not mislead anybody. Yeah. Right? So we're going to party. We're going to party after we get the results. And I guarantee you, Courdel, we're going to party.
But Kevon, I feel like we're too serious and people feel on the defensive. And I don't like that. You understand me? So let's spice things up a little bit. So, folks, remember in 2020, a lot of shenanigans was happening, similar to now, elections, people making all sorts of claims. So I got a little compilation for you. If you got any kids around, just move them away a little bit. It's not that it's bad, but at the end, they got a little, one little cuss word. I think y'all could flex with me for that. But I just want to remind persons of some of the stuff that took place with these people and the efforts that they would have made to mislead Guyanese. You understand? And we need to remember that. So have a quick look.
Have a seat and look at Barajat Dio and the PPP, small c, the opposition, and they want to come back into power to spend the oil money, but boom out, they ain't coming back because the Guyanese people, we know that he is the doctor of failure. So we're gonna boom out.
Hold on. Said, oh gosh, Moses living in posh environment. Hey, look, Moses, as Prime Minister, is now living a Cadillac-style living.
Hold on. One out of Libya, one out of Russia, and one out of America with a Russian background that came into this country, and we had to deport them on elections day after our intelligence realized that there was some conspiracy to tap into GCOM computer system.
Hold on.
We have sort of given a name to our operation here, Operation Eagle Eye, because we are looking at what is happening here with an eagle eye. So they know what to look for. And so it is that eagle eye that they will bring into this process.
Whenever you mentioned the eagle eye, before March 2nd, there was a similar call for members of the party and polling agents to pay attention. Your party would have had polling agents in these places of poll. Do you think that they had an eagle eye out for what was happening within those polling stations.
I like that. I like that.
Hold on. You had folks sitting down in front of the television watching CN Sharma on Channel 67. And you know what they're watching? That announcement. So the minute they see the name, they took note. They took note. You understand? So the information is there. Hold on.
Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong. And this whole thing is smelling fishy.
Very, very.
Stink of fish.
James Conte again. Like I fed up.
You know, it's like we fed up. So I just wanted to remind persons of all the antics and all the nonsense these people will be willing to come with. You understand? And I just want to tell them, hold on. Wait on Claudette. Hold on. You understand me? Hold on. Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited, man. You understand me? I don't know what's wrong with everybody.
Hold on.
We've seen this before, and I want to remind Guyanese that the only official body that can make a declaration in relation to election results in Guyana is the Guyana Elections Commission. Anybody else, it's a preliminary report or a preliminary result or an announcement based on a hypothesis made from preliminary reports. You understand? So this outright tactic that the opposition has been displaying of acting like they won all these areas already, they need to stop it. They need to stop it. And I hope that when the official results come out and it's not what they have been portraying, persons don't take lead up or take crank up, as the locals would say. Take crank up and come out to want to do anything that is unnecessary. That is my genuine hope, honestly.
But Courdel, I still I want to say something. Is that people are not stupid, I can tell you, people are not stupid. Even here in Linden, even though they're doing that, I saw a very few persons, just a clique of them, who were the one who was celebrating last night, right? And just as what we are encouraging persons here, I know a lot of people a lot of people have a lot of sense. Like they said, they're big and they got sense, and people are looking on. People are waiting. People understand, and it's good that we are emphasizing it here, right? We emphasize that people should remain calm, wait on the report from only Miss what should I say, Miss Claudette Singh from the GCOM
retired justice
Claudette Singh.
I'm sorry, Kevon, make me choke the people. Struggle.
Right. So that is where the results come from. So persons, we are remaining calm, right? We're not gonna, like I saying, I'm keep saying this all morning. We're not gonna sit here to misinform you. We're not gonna jump up to say, oh yes, this is it, and we are leading by example as well.
I want to say, Kevon, congratulations to all the PPPC candidates. Y'all ran a wonderful race. All of you, all across this country, all the local government PPPC candidates, whether you're constituency candidate or the PR candidate, you guys did a wonderful job. You walked the ground, you met with the people. Dr. Murray up in Linden there, Dr. Richards, Dr. Harris, Uncle, so much of them up there. They did a wonderful job. Dario working with the team there. Gaspar, those guys really were out there putting in the work and taking the message to the people. And despite they may not have won all the areas, I know that they made an impact in those areas and they got people thinking about moving things forward. Here in Georgetown, Alfonso de Armas, Andre Jackman, Dion Young, Asha Wallace, Mr. Gear Kasoon, Malcolm Ferreira, Tricia Richards, Miss Patricia Chase Green, Renetta Small, Colleen Sampson, Philippine Sinali, Rumesh Prasad, all these guys doing wonderful work in New Amsterdam, Nicola Luther, Kwesi Joseph, so many people came out who were not supporters of the PPP, but saw what the PPP was doing and wanted to have a chance to do that in their community. So they got on board, and went up for these elections. They worked really hard. They effected change in their community as candidates, and they wanted to do more as councillors. And I feel like at the next local government elections, they'll gain even more inroads and probably even have a bigger upset at the next local government elections. But I must say that I really feel that they did well in terms of representing the party and representing what they wanted to achieve.
Exactly. And Courdel, also on Linden here, like, well, you would have mentioned them before. I believe that first I must say thank you to our cluster leader, Bishop Juan Ejil, as well. He did a tremendous job in getting out there with the candidates. He was on the ground, even and straight to with the candidates.
Kevon, you talk about Bishop.
Linden.
He and Lyndon and Josh at the same time. I was wondering how he was doing it. You understand?
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say
talk 1 minute, and then next thing you know, he on a live in a meeting in Linden.
well, one of the strangest thing that got me confused, because I'm streaming. He's in Kokwani, and then he's in Georgetown, and then he's Linden, and so I was like, what really happened here? Like Saturday for once. Saturday morning, I spoke to Bishop. Yes, I'm in Kokwani, I'm on the ground, and then I spoke to Bishop. Yes, I'm in Georgetown, and then a little after, I saw Bishop in Linden there. It was like, but I must say, that is that. Well, I've known Bishop for a very long time, and that is how he operates, right? He's always a man on the ground, and he was foot to foot with his team in every corners of Linden. You understand? And I know for sure, even if they want to see, or even if the final reports would have come out and it say that we did not win Linden, if the report show that, if that is what GCOM reports show, what I know for sure is that we would have made some inroads in Linden. 100% I'm sure about that. And the people are more informed, right? But then again, I'm not going to sit here to say we did not. Let the GCOM report speak for itself. So apart from the Bishop, I know the candidates, they were on the ground. They work. I've seen it, and we must give them credit for that. They were young people, and they had the opportunity to experience the length and breadth of Linden and the entire municipality of Linden, and they understand how the system goes now. So I must give them credit for the work they would have put out as well, while we sit and wait the report.
And any of the candidates that I didn't remember your name, please don't think I forgot you. It's just a lot of y'all. Like Joel Caesar. Who else by you? There's so many of them. So many persons came, and that's why I was so proud that the PVP was able to contest in every single area. Every single area, they found persons who were willing to come out. Quincy Anderson, Charlestown there, doing a lot of work as well. All these candidates are being Agricola. All over. Good job. Hats off to you guys. And we will see the fruits of your labor when GCOM makes that declaration either later today. Hopefully later today. I don't know when they're gonna make it, so I don't want to tell y'all today and it's not today. GCOM working at their own pace. Nobody rushing them or whatever.
Exactly.
So whenever they declare, and we shall know what is taking place after that.
Well, Courdel, I can say based on the ground yesterday, it was a smooth process.
Mm.
Um, I know even to yesterday, despite the GCOM rule is that no campaigning 24 hours before elections. APNU was busy on the ground in Linden here. They were running around, and they when I said busy, they were campaigning, not trying to get
Mm.
people out. They were campaigning yesterday on the ground, and they were doing the smear campaign. I was passing at one of the polling stations there. I wouldn't identify it. I was like talking all these and the words, the explicits, right? But you know, we played safe, and we always played safe. We're gonna continue to play it safe, right? And again, um, I'm not, and I know for a matter of fact, we will not come here to misguide anybody. And we keep saying to you guys, let us hold strong. Myself and Courdel will ensure that we keep you update. Any information, if we don't come live, we will definitely you will have that information on our page. Um, Courdel, I think your page is restricted, huh?
Yeah, I can't do much, people. That's why you aren't really seeing any
Yeah,
lives
yeah,
coming from me. I can only
yeah,
post at the moment.
yeah. Well, yeah. So, yes, but you will whatever info we have up, we will ensure that we feed the
What
public with it.
One of the important things to note, Kevin, in these stronghold these alleged stronghold areas of the APNU, the PPPC was able to compete neck and neck with them on in these
Exactly.
areas, in
Exactly.
most of the constituencies, especially in New Amsterdam. And New Amsterdam, that was the area. And to me, that says a lot. You understand? You go from winning it outright to you're barely holding on to it.
Mm,
You're barely holding on to it. So that to me is important to note, and I think it augurs well for the upcoming 2025 general and regional elections. You understand me? Because you're already winning hearts and minds nationally, and now you're starting to do it at the local level, through the NDCs and these municipalities. It could only
exactly.
signal well. It could only signal well. So we
Exactly.
can be sure that Guyana will stay in good hands, as we head further into the future and continue the development path that Guyana is currently on. I mean, as a guy I know usually say, it's beer upness all around. You understand? It's all around. So we wait their results, as Kevin would have mentioned, and myself. And when those results come out, we'll officially know what is the standing. And I urge persons in the opposition to be more responsible in relation to the information that they're putting out there. And you know, just be more responsible, man. That's all I can tell
Exactly.
them.
Well, Cordell, I know we would have said a lot, and we continue. We don't want to. We have more as it relates to outside of local government election that we want to share, but at this moment we just want to focus on that, and
Mm.
we keeping guys. We just using this opportunity to keep you informed because, Cordell, a whole lot of people, bro, a whole lot of people are messaging, they're calling, they wanted to know what is happening on the ground and so
Yeah.
on. So, I'm saying to person, let's just hold a bit and, hold on, hold on.
But
We got this.
I thought GCOM would have had like a thing like what you would usually for general and region elections, like a command center, and they got updates coming out, and they're actually giving the updates as the information come in from these various local authority areas, and they updating it live. So I don't know, man.
Apparently, Congress players want to take that position right now.
Well, that's
And
what I was saying. Congress
they
Place had a more
they,
live update than GCOM. So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. But the difference between the difference between the two, one calls itself credible source,
Yeah.
but it's more of what to say, it's more of a propaganda source, right? And I love to tell you something, Cordell. Silence is deadly.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not nice out there. It's not nice, and and people here, they're sensible enough. It's not nice. Let they go on. Let the Rusty Bell Duncan and the others that go on. They're making a lot of noise since last night.
So
I
so
don't I don't pay attention to noise. I pay attention to the silence. That's why I pay attention.
So you see in the video that I played earlier, Simona Brooms, making herself a comic in Parliament there. She miraculously emerged again and found her voice and making declarations on areas. I saw a video with her on Facebook as well on who win here and who would win there and all sorts of madness. And I'm like, man, Simona, relax yourself, back up yourself back into wherever current you're being in, run your gold mines and stuff, and relax. You're already a
Exactly.
millionaire. Relax. You had an
Back up
opportunity.
yourself. Back up
Back
yourself.
up. You had an opportunity to do something. You didn't
And you
encourage
did
them to do anything while she was minister. You were an influential person in the APNU that could have spoken to the persons in there to help affect change. She didn't do that.
exactly. So
So
yeah,
that's
correct.
what
Go
we got
ahead.
to
Sorry.
remember. That's what we got to remember. So
Exactly.
Simona Brooms coming out, Christopher Jones talking a set of wellness on a live that he can't substantiate. Gosh, y'all act a little different. Not change up the script. It's so predictable with them.
Exactly. So, guys, I want to take this opportunity for persons who might want to share their opinion and have questions. You have the numbers at the bottom that's being displayed. You have 611-0200 or 672-6228. We have approximately 10 more minutes before closing. And if you want to call in, you can call in either of the numbers displayed below. So you can share your views, your opinions, any questions you want to ask. Once we can, we will do so. So the lines are open in case you want to call. You can call anytime. So, Cordell, I'm telling you, bro. Last night, let me tell you, I understand this society that we lives in. You understand? And when I look at all the things, you know the thing of it. I didn't see one single PvP person on social media come out and say, "Oh, we win and we got this and we got that and we get." Though we let me let our viewers know we have places that information came to us also that we dominated predominantly. We won outright, but still, I'm not gonna come here to blast on that. I'm having a
Like you got
call for
called in
help.
there.
Let me see if it's a caller. Hello, good morning. Uh-huh. So do you want me to put you on loudspeaker so the viewers can hear you? All right, just hold a minute. Just hold a minute. So Cordell and viewers, we have a caller here. All right, sir, you can go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, sir. Again, Mr. Courdel Jones. You have been doing an
Morning.
excellent job.
Thank you.
I must congratulate you. But let us look at the local government election and do some comparative analysis from 2016. In 2016, as I could recollect, AP and UASC would have won Particle. They even won Letem, right? And 2018 respectively. 2023, PPP would have won Particle, or has won Particle. I'm not so sure about Mabaruma, but I'm absolutely sure that when the votes, the tabulation of the votes is completed, we will see victory for the PPPC in Mabaruma. Now, let's look at Region 4. If you want to do a comparative analysis on the national election the vote turnout at the national election. In 2015, PPP would have gotten 70,000 votes. We're talking about a national election, right? I'm not contradicting anything. In 2020, the PPP would have gotten 80,000 votes. And that is the difference of 10,000 votes. When you do that, when you compare that to the AP and UASD number, they would have only garnered 4,000 more votes.
Yeah.
So they would have been able to persuade 6,000 more persons than the AP and UASD.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? In 2023, when the tabulation of all the SP is completed, we will see the inroads the PPP would have made in 2023 in Georgetown. Let's look at New Amsterdam. The last election, I think they won New Amsterdam outright, right?
Yeah, they did.
What happened this election? The PPP would have gotten 3 more seats, and 3 more seats represent a significant number of voters. Am I right?
Indeed.
So this fancy gallop don't win a race. It's one to the end.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
If you look, they're celebrating, yes, it was a very hard task for PPPC candidates to persuade a constituent or constituents that for many years would have allowed themselves to be consumed with the alcohol and more so racist and propagandistic nature of the PNP.
Yep.
But even so, I have never seen PPP rally in places like East Rumville, West Rumville, South Rumville. I attended St. John's College from 1996 to 2002. And in those years, when Mr. I said, the whole street full up. Back in the days, you couldn't even walk through East Rumville with PPP, George.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I could remember I lived in Boston for 10 years, from 1990 to 2000, right? And you couldn't walk through Boston with a PPP jersey, brother. But the reality today is different.
Yep.
So the APNU, if you look at the APNU problem, the APNU is so desperate that they gull at anything that they feel they could have a significant influence on.
Yep.
But even in the stronghold in losing ground, I am telling you they have lost significant grounds in Georgetown, even though it was a low voter turnout. More so, even though it is a predominant or traditionally a PNU or PNP stronghold. Right? So we need to dissect and analyze the support base of the PPP and the expand of the PPP support base, which is very incremental, if is the right word to use. Right?
Yeah.
I think this year, this election, the signal that is coming from the Chinese people, they already saying to the AP and the AS, you would have done nothing significant for us, and we will not support you 2025.
Yep.
And I'm not just saying this because I just want to talk. I would have done my own analysis. You guys don't know. I am a stand PPPC supporter. I voted PPPC 2020. And I didn't give no half vote to PPPC. I gave the whole thing. I was so confident.
Yes.
I didn't touch the boxes. I went into the room resolute, and I placed my ex for the PPPC. I live in Timmy so. You know, during the election campaign, someone put a chapel to my neck.
Wow.
because I openly supported the PPPC. And you know what? I still go to that person's business and support the business because you know what? I represent humanity.
Wow. I'm glad that you were I'm glad that you were able to be the bigger person in that situation.
And let me tell you something. I am not supporting the PPC because I want no special inducement from them. I can tell you here now, the prudent stewardship of this current government have resulted in me catapulting myself, elevating myself. You understand?
We're glad that you're able to benefit from the plans and programs of this government.
No money from the PPPC. And I want no money from the PPPC. I am doing this wholeheartedly.
Because of the wider cause.
We're glad. And you know,
and I will tell you this here now. I don't want to consume my time to consume the government. I'm saying this to you that Afro-Guyanese, kudos to my young Afro-Guyanese brothers and sisters. They continue to come out in significant numbers in support of the PPPC. And this is not a figment of the imagination. This is not Marie, my father, some truth. This is not no Guyana Ford Circus, AP, and UAFC now flat news. Because that is doing what they are, flat news. You understand? Let me give you a history of my voting pattern. 2006, I voted AF. 2011, I voted AF. 2015, I voted AP and UAF. And 2020, I resolutely put my X next to the PPP. Have a great day.
Thank you for coming through. Kevon, before we wrap up, one of the points he made that I thought was important to hammer home on, the PPP has shown once again that it's the only multi-ethnic party in this country. When you look at the list that they provide across the constituencies and the municipalities, the NDCs and the municipalities, you would see the mix. You see Guyana, you see, like I say, you see Guyana, you see the people of Guyana, and a lot of persons in 2015, for whatever reason, would have decided to choose to support the APNU AFC. Those dreams, the enchantment that they felt, quickly dissolved and turned bitter in their mouth. So as that gentleman came on and said, 3 elections consecutively vote for the opposition. And after he had a taste of what, and remember, his promises in making all them years. You understand me? Promises. And 2015, he joined with the rest and he said, oh, let's give them a chance. And when they got the chance, what they do? They give themselves 50 to 100% increase. They do nothing in Linda. They do nothing in Youngstown. They do nothing in Georgetown. They're strongholds. You understand? Their children and the MPs getting all the scholarships. The college in Ogle, the certification, where was carrying it? Where they carrying it? To Higgs Botch? To dump it? You understand? So there was a waste in a certain time of the youths of Guyana with that stupid college that they had in Ogle, Bartram Collins, or some nonsense they had up there. And if you juxtapose that to the gold program, internationally recognized universities from around the world, you don't got to get up and run to Ogle, but you could work in your at your own pace in your own home and see what is going on for you and improve yourself and upskill yourself and you compare it to them. So 2015, 2016, people start going, me like how this tastes by. This coalition FC didn't taste good. You understand? And by 2017, they done fed up because we dealing with COVID, money is circulating. It was a bunch of worries. So thank God for a party like the PPPC and the leadership that is in that party. They were able to come into government and arrest some of these problems the country was going through and put us on the path that we're on now. All those candidates wanted to do in these constituencies is bring more development to their communities. And for the communities that would have voted to give them a chance to do that. Thank you so much. Those that didn't, hopefully next time. But I am sure those same candidates and councillors in some cases will still work in your best interest, unlike the opposition, who, if you remember, Kevon, as an indigenous person, the cursing that you all got for not supporting them in the 2020 elections. You understand? And the polling agents who they said take pay, all the polling agents take pay. Imagine they go and find these people, they pay them too. And the polling agents allegedly get so much more money from the PPP that they decided to, these people are heading good, partner. These people are heading good.
Exactly. One of the other things, Courdel, before we close, what he mentioned there is the inroads that was being made, right? And I've seen that in Linden here. Like, for instance, I can highlight one spot here. Our last meeting was held at the Palm Tree Cinema area. And we know in the history of campaign and politics in Linden, otherwise than the PNC, no other political party could have gone around that area. Trust me. And thanks to the bishop again, I could say the bishop, he be your face. But the man was adamant, and he stood strong, he stood positive, and said, you know what? We're gonna go there. We ain't gonna make no trouble with nobody. We ain't gonna pick fight with nobody, but we're going out there to get the message. And we turned up there. The bishop went out there, and it was supported. It was supported. People came out, and there was no form of hostility, not one. So the inroads is what is also important, and is the inroads that will have an effect come 2025, right? So I'm not afraid of that, and that we're gonna take this opportunity before we close here again to say to our viewers, don't come on, guys, don't be discouraged, don't feel down. Just hold your ground, stand your ground. We are in government at the end of the day, and anything is possible. And when I said anything is possible, we can do as much as we can to change the situation for the betterment, for the life of people. Because if they still take control of certain area, if the result come out and if this won, as they said, at the end of the day, we will know that we still is the same incompetent people again, and they cannot deliver, and they will not deliver. And it's the same government again, the same caring government again, who will have to come in.
Step in and save the day.
And save the day. You understand? So, I am not troubled. Courdel are not troubled. I know that for sure. And you should not. The government are not troubled. Especially when we know the thing of it, what happened to some persons, Courdel? They put all the eggs in one basket. When you know some areas that are traditional PNC, I don't put my eggs into one basket. I'm not saying I'm not gonna have expectations for good, right? But then again, when you know how people operate, you would not do that. But then again, also, I am confident that we've made some inroads, like the guy would have said.
Anyway, Kevon, wrap up time.
All right. All right, guys. So I guess that's it for this morning. And Courdel, as you look, I'm sitting here. My son just gave me a sign, bring me bottles. So therefore, he's saying he wanted tea.
Yeah, right? Feed time.
Feed time.
So, guys, thank you for joining the program. It was nice being here with you. Again, thank you for all the persons who came out and voted yesterday and exercised the franchise in relation to affecting change in their community. Thank you. You guys are champions. It was your choice and you made it yesterday, and nobody can fault you or judge you for that. Okay. Exactly. Again, to all the candidates, the BPC candidates, hats off to Don Singh, and I keep remembering the names as I go. Hats off to you. Minister Rodriguez has done a lot of work with these people too. Minister McCoy, Minister Walron, Bishop Edgell, Minister Edgell, who's also a bishop, Minister Indar, Minister Walron. I try my best to give everybody the credit because a lot of people worked hard in this local government election. Hats off to the General Secretary, always providing good leadership at the party level, ensuring that persons your ideas are heard and you get guidance and that kind of thing on the way forward. So everybody who put the shoulders to the wheel during the elections, good work. We wait on GCOM to hear the final results, and then we'll have celebrations, which are what's the right word? Which would be in order for the persons coming out on top in these local government elections.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, that's it for my side today as well. And like we said, we will keep you updated as the results, as the information come in. For matter of fact, we will keep you updated. And remember, hold it, save your money, because you remember last time, Courdel, the APNU spent out. They had more party than anybody else.
Great, you come. Thank you. We have worked. We were in the areas. You gave us your vote. Thank you. You remember Granger?
Exactly.
Terrible.
Exactly. So we're gonna hold our ground. We can save we money for we party the right time, because we's only party one time, and we just party for victory. We don't party based on while things going about the place and so far.
Yeah.
Courdel, one question. If they cannot produce their SOP for since 2020, could they produce their SOP for yesterday?
You wasted time to ask me the question. I'm not even listening to that one.
Don't let me waste time. So, guys, thank you once again for tuning in this morning. And we will definitely, if it's sometime during the course of the day, either myself or Courdel will keep you updated. Courdel is in Georgetown area. And if there's anything, he will broadcast so you can have updates on this situation. So Thank you again. Thank you again for being a part of this program this morning. And this is my time for the thank you.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey. Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young, and Guyana got old. I ain't talking